Hey guys, this is Joel coming at you from the Quabbin Reservoir in Belchertown, Massachusetts, which is where I grew up. And the Quabbin is this, essentially they just flooded a bunch of towns a couple hundred years ago and created a big water thing. And all my films lately that have been outside have been filmed here because it's such a beautiful scenic location. It's a nice place to come to just get out of the house and sit. And yeah, it's actually really beautiful. So I guess I'll address the elephant in the room, and that's that I now have 100,000 subscribers, and a month ago I had 3,000, which is amazing and overwhelming. And I just felt like I had to make a video or something just to talk to you guys, because a text post won't cut the amount of excitement and nerves I have surrounding this. And yeah, I'm just so happy people are enjoying the content. I mean, I've been making stuff for years. I've been doing the weekly short films for almost 2 years. And you know, to finally see them get some attention is just, it's like a huge relief. It's a huge relief. And the fact that the channel's now in a place that can start supporting me, and you know, I could really just know I could comfortably work at it full time into the future. That's where I've always wanted to be. It's my dream to be a YouTube filmmaker, YouTuber, sketch comedy. I make it all, and I love doing it all, and I'm glad people are appreciating that. And I know some people want me to just focus on the animations, and there'll be plenty of animations because I love making them, but I just want to do them when the idea is right. I don't want to ever force one. So there'll be plenty of live action to give myself breaks, and you know, the live action aren't ever going to be taken away from the animations. It's not this or that. It's just I'm going to make a wide variety of stuff. And I've been seeing like every animation gets like 100 comments like, how did you make this? How did you make this? And I've replied to some of them and left kind of like a gist of it in the comment section, but it's too hard to reply to all of them. And one of these days when I have time, I do want to make a kind of how I do it tutorial. I want to run people through my process, and so I'm going to expect a video like how I make my animations or how I animate or something, because I think it's a cool process, and it's a very accessible process and I think people are picking up on that, and I'd like to get that information out there so other people could take their swing at it. And what else? Oh, speaking of comments, you know, I spent the last 2 years able to respond to and look at and see every comment and know like all my commenters personally. So this week has been a big change for me because I can't keep up at all. I'm so sorry for everyone commenting. I know that's just part of being a bigger YouTuber. At one point you just can't read the comments. It's just, I'm getting like 4 or 5 a minute, and you know, if I devote time to that, it's taking away from actually creating for the channel. So I think what I'm gonna do moving forward is I'll always be looking at the comments, but when I upload something, I'm gonna spend an hour or two just watching it and interacting with people right as it's uploaded, and then after that I'll just do it very casually, or else I'll just lose all my time. And scoozy. But yeah, thank you everyone for subscribing. It's exciting as hell. As heck. Scoozy. I'm burping. I don't know why. But anyway, last year I ended the year by doing a list of my favorite things I watched. And I kind of want to make that a tradition, kind of use it to give a shout out to some other creators, turn you on to some good movies or something. So cozy up and maybe get a hot chocolate, because I think this might be a long video. I'm gonna take my time, sit here. Maybe you could watch the sunset if I get a little boring to listen to. Here we go. I've got a list. So I'm going to do this in 2 parts. I'm going to start off with YouTube stuff I watch, and then I'm going to go to movies. And I don't watch much TV. I really only watch YouTube and movies, but so here we go. I'm gonna start off. I have a pretty big list of YouTubers, mostly, you know, I watch some bigger ones, but I mostly want to focus on the small ones to give them their due attention. So here we go. Firstly, I got a long list. I got Noak Eric, and he is this YouTuber that just makes the most crazy shit ever, and you know, he has a whole shtick that he's obsessed with Red Bull, and he and his friend Thomas kind of have a rapport where they hate each other, but they're trying to make a YouTube channel work. It's just a really great channel. Seeing him, I just die laughing because he's really good at like playing this totally deranged character. And everything I say here is going to be linked in the description, hopefully in order. I'll try to get it all sorted out. And yeah, I encourage you guys to explore and check out some of his stuff. He's great. Speaking of him, his friend Thomas, who I mentioned, has his own YouTube channel, and it's called Mammoth in Space. And his is like, his has some of the craziest editing I've ever seen. Between the sound and visual effects, it is very like, it's like a strobe light of editing. And I think he has some really funny kind of like, I don't know if shocking is the right word, but he really just like doesn't hold back in that regard. So Noak Eric and Mammoth in Space, they're both friends. Check them out. Next up is Wizards with Guns. They're a sketch comedy sort of channel. And actually today they just uploaded this one, The Mystery of Who Shit My Pants or something like that. And I think it's their best one I've seen. It's really great. I think you should go to their channel and watch that one, because I think you'll fall in love with them if you watch that one. That one's really great. Got to give a shout out to Be Back Whenever. He's my friend Noah. We met through YouTube, through commenting on each other's stuff, and we've made some stuff together. And he's always just making fun stuff, really great. You know, him and his girlfriend, they're really funny together. And I think he took a big break, and I'm happy to see him creating again. I know he got kind of busy in life and had a kind of a rough patch or something, but he's back at it, so he's worth checking out. Be Back Whenever. Harvey Seasalt. Harvey Seasalt is an animation channel. He makes these really fun rap animations. It's very Newgrounds. It reminds me a lot of stuff you used to see on Newgrounds in like the early internet days. And I lent my voice to one of them, the beard versus mustache rap battle, and they're just so funny. He has really good lyricism and just super like fun like sketches and animations and characters. And he just had one that went pretty big called like PS4, not PS4. Oh God, PS5 versus the new Xbox Series X or whatever. That went really big, so I'm glad to see him getting some due attention. A lot of people stole it, because he posts his stuff on TikTok too, and TikTok's kind of notorious for those kind of people. So go give him some views on the actual video, because I know he lost millions and millions of views to people who stole it, so he deserves some more attention here. Do you like my Canada gloves? Pretty cool. Next up is Fireplace. This is a group of boys, some great boys. They make like short sketches, and they also are a band, and they put their music on the channel. And I really love that they do that, because I'm somebody who also puts a wide variety of stuff in one place. And I think it's fun to do that. It paints a fuller picture of who you are. So you watching Fireplace, you get the sense of their comedy through their comedy, but also like their music and more emotional side of things. And I like that they do that. Their band is called American Scream, and that they have some good songs. I listen to them. Jordan Mendoza, he's up next. You might know him from the Comedy Central Cry Battles, that series he's done. but he actually has his own YouTube channel, and he just put up how YouTubers apologize, and it's really good. That might be one of his best in a while, but his most famous, like that got a lot of views, was being Asian on The Bachelorette. You might have seen that. But he and I have been talking a lot, and I hope we could do a collab someday. He's just hilarious, and he's an absolute expert at making himself cry on command, which is why he hosts the Cry Battles. Up next, Eric Mckenzie. He's somebody I knew in Pratt when I went to college at Pratt, and he's just a longtime supporter of the channel, and he's been making a lot of stuff during COVID on his channel. And I think his best one I've seen lately is the Saying Goodbye to Friends. It's just him and this other guy having this absolutely dreadfully awkward goodbye in a car. And I think he's making some really good stuff, and he's getting no views. And check him out. Check him out. Diamos. Diamos is this guy with a super deep voice. I think that's like the first thing you notice about his channel. He's just like, hello, I am Diamos. But he does a lot of like game related content, stuff like that. Like what's a good one? My favorite the first one I saw was bad photography missions in games, and that one made me fall in love. He has really snappy editing and like some good visual effects and stuff like that. And he just did when your phone turns 2 years old. That one is so good. It's you got to see it. His face is just like plastered on a phone, and that's just my kind of stuff. I keep having to check if the audio's still going. Secret Afternoon. This is a funny story because for the NPC video, we were like, everything I do is improvised, and Trent and I were improvising the dialogue, and we're like, what's a good mob name? And we're like, Tony, and then we came up with Tony Lazzuto. We're like, Tony Lazzuto. And then after we filmed it, we remembered, oh shit, we accidentally stole that from this comic we saw online. I think it's pretty, it's been around. It's called Elder Cactus. He's the artist, and it's this one where this guy's faking that his butthole hurts, and then it's actually like a mob hit, and he's like, Tony Lazzuto says hello. So we accidentally stole that name while we were improvising. So I gave him credit in the description, and then he wound up seeing the video and reaching out to me, and we've actually talked. And he and this guy Dogmo have a YouTube channel called Secret Afternoon, and it's just all these great little animations. And they do a weekly like live sketch show where they have a bunch of contestants all compete and draw different drawings with a comedian like commentating on them. And I was a contestant the other week, and it was just so fun. It's such a good format, and yeah, check them out. They're great. Secret Afternoon. All right, next up, Syrian Williams. I hope I'm saying that right. He's a longtime subscriber, and this year he did a week where he made a short film every week, and everyone was beautifully shot, really, really tight and concise. And he hasn't been posting much lately because I think he's working on his first feature-length project, but I'm so excited for that. Check out, I'll link Mr. Foxman. That was my favorite of his weekly shorts, so check that out. Unmovied Productions. This is just this, he's like this 18-year-old, and he's already killing it at like filmmaking. He's doing everything right. He's experimenting, he's trying a bunch of different things, and he's getting all these great interviews with like independent filmmakers. Like I did an interview with him. He had one with Dan Lotz, and he's just like doing, his stuff is amazing for an 18-year-old. And I don't want to say for an 18-year-old, that's pretentious, and I hate that, like, oh, the young ones kind of mentality, but he's just doing a great job, and he's always been a big supporter of the channel, and I want to give him a shout out. $5 Comedy. This guy, he did two I loved recently, and that was what was it? The Arrest of Dr. Frankenstein. It was like a fake mockumentary about Frankenstein that just calls out all the weird stuff with that story. And the other one that was, I think, exceptional was he did a Hallmark movie parody about pumpkins. And it's like 7 minutes long, and it just hits all the right spots of a Hallmark movie. Like he really nailed the feel and like structure they use. So check that one out. That one's amazing. Alex Martins, he's been doing a lot of funny little sketches. He's got a good mustache, good look on his face. Which one did he just do? Oh, I can't remember. I watch too much YouTube, I guess. Haunted Wi-Fi. These guys are a new favorite of mine. I love these guys. They do like these fisheye videos where the entire thing is shot on like this extreme fisheye lens, and it's just so funny. And it's just like raw and just them having a great time every time, you could tell. And they did this one that I think should have like 1 million views, and it might not even have 1,000 yet. And that's Stand By Me. It's about them finding a haunted Wii, and the Miis come to life, and it's just so funny and well done and chaotic. And those guys kick ass. I think they're from Vancouver. We were talking recently. They're really great. Brendan and Corey. That's a channel I found this year that has actually been a big influence on my own work. They're these guys that do these narrated kind of things, and I'll admit I directly stole that from them because I just love the idea, and I hope I've put enough of my own flair that it doesn't feel like a copycat entirely. But the first one I saw was I'm Stuck, and they just do these hilarious narrations where like they're you know, I'm Stuck is about a guy who's stuck in a soccer net, and it's just like, I've been here for 12 days, and it's just so funny. A lot of people stuck in their films, because there was another one where a guy was locked outside his house for like 10 days, and that was hilarious as well. So big thanks to them, because they inspired me to kind of try the narration format out. I think I needed a shake-up, because I was doing a lot of dialogue improv, and I'm like, how do you improvise narration? Because for the narration ones, we kind of film first, and then I make up a narration over it, and then I fill in the gaps with more footage if I need it. So I've been having fun with those formats. So check them out. Anthony Brungus. Anthony Brungus, he doesn't post enough. No pressure, but he has made some really great things that I think go underappreciated. Some of them are funny, some of them are a little more serious, like kind of experimental, kind of he has some animations, some green screen stuff, and I'm freezing my butt off on this cold rock. Okay, Brungus, check him out. He sent me a bunch of his prints of his digital art, and thank you for that, Anthony. You the man. Zooquap Studios. These guys just did a great Halloween special in October. It was like 5 different skits kind of all stitched together, and it was really well done. The Fishman was the best, which I think they uploaded separately, but they have some funny ones. The Tough Trucks. I crack up just because I don't know his name, and I'm sorry. The main guy's Christian. I don't know if he's the main guy. I don't want to say that, but the other guy throws a hissy fit in Tough Trucks, and I love a good hissy fit. Just squeaky voice cracking. So check that out. Connor O'Malley. I've mostly been shouting out pretty small channels, and Connor's not that big, but you know, he's pretty well known, all things considered. But he makes just the most chaotic, insane stuff. He's just a true artist operating on the internet. And I really, you know, I can't not shout him out because every video he makes is amazing. He just did one where he gets kidnapped by Antifa or something. I don't know. It's definitely worth diving into. It's really good. And lastly, and this will lead into my next section, 922 Films, which is my friend Dan Lotz. he met me because he watched one of my movies, reached out, and then I watched his movies. And he's just got this great channel where he gives people tips to how to make cheap movies, how to be an independent filmmaker online. He makes some funny comedy shorts. And the main thing he makes, his big ticket items are his feature films. And last year he released 2 of them that he made basically alone. The first one he had a small crew, and the second one he made in COVID. And it's, what is it? It's Sheep Theater and Chlorine. And I'm gonna hold off for a second because I'm gonna get into that in the movies section. But essentially, I encourage people to be kind of more explorative, because I've noticed some people kind of wait for content to come to them, or, you know, or they just are apathetic and they accept what is given to them, which is an ironic complaint now that YouTube is throwing my stuff in everyone's face. But yeah, explore people's stuff. If you see one video you like, click on the channel and find out like other stuff you like, because, you know, what I do is every day I share 3 videos of small channels on Reddit, because that's all it takes to get people attention. You know, share 3 videos a day from random channels, and, you know, every week I have one get at least a couple hundred upvotes and a couple thousand views, and it feels good. Feels good to help other people, and I don't plan to stop doing that. But that doesn't mean reach out to me and ask me to share your stuff. I just share whatever I find. My inbox is already exploding, and I'm trying to get back to people. I'm sorry for the delays to everyone that has been messaging me. I just have so many emails and various DMs and on every app I've ever signed up for. Like, I've never used Twitter, and I've gotten notifications on there. Just explore more, and the stuff you do like, try to get it some attention, because it feels good. It gives you a dopamine rush to even share other people's stuff. It's like a good feeling. It's like, oh wow, this one's taken off. And yeah. So next I'm going to talk about the movies, and that's where Dan Lotz 922 Films leads us, because if you've seen on the channel, I release my feature-length films for free, and I've made 7 so far, and that's what I want to do. Like, that's my mission statement, really. I want to create weekly short films full of good laughs and maybe some more serious ones, and I want to release these big, long films that, you know, I make myself and release myself, because filmmaking is possible nowadays for free by you, and you could release your stuff for free. So why the heck not do it? Because it's way better than working for some company or corporation, and it's way better than waiting for somebody to give you permission. And if you want me to ramble about that for 16 minutes, I have a video called You're Already a Filmmaker, where I kind of lay out a lot of my problems with the film industry and where I see a brighter future for film, and that's YouTube. Testing, testing, testing. Still good, still good. All right. So Dan Lotz is somebody who found me through watching my feature film Island, and he reached out, said he loved it, and he had this film Chlorine in the works, and then he released that for free. And his movies Chlorine and Sheep Theater are just great. Like, yeah, top tier YouTube like features. And I know that's a pretty small category right now, but it's the future, and I'm excited to see it grow and grow. And Sheep Theater I like even better. I think it was his second after Chlorine, and I think it just does everything Chlorine did, but even better. It's improvised, it's more personal, more emotional. He has a lot of really fun effects with the sheep. He has these sheep plushies that come to life. It's really fun. So check those out. And before I move forward, I want to just restate a promise I have. And this promise is going to kick my ass now that I have so many people watching. But I promise that if you make a 40-minute movie yourself and just get it done yourself and send it to me, I will watch it. And feature length, 40 minutes and up. I would love to watch everyone's shorts, but especially now, that would be a death sentence. So I'm still holding that promise true. If you make a feature-length film yourself, send it to me. Like, not yourself, you don't have to be alone, but like, just make something bare bones and send it to me, I will watch it, because that's what I live for. I live for people just making movies because they're compelled to do it. And so that's where Dan Lotz comes in. He made a movie and a couple. I'm going to start with the movies on YouTube that I saw. And one is Bad by Cody Clarke. I mentioned it in the Ramble last year, but it wasn't on YouTube last year. But Bad is this movie he made and shot in like 10 hours, and it's just a couple staying in bed all day, and they kind of like inadvertently kind of like dissect their relationship, and it's really emotional and personal and really great. These guys, Doomed Productions, they have made a couple movies called October, House, and Oh Brother. These guys are absolutely killing it. They've made 3 features in I think like 6 months or even less, and they're all equally interesting. Oh Brother was a movie Jordan made alone. His name is Jordan Ross, I think. He made one alone in quarantine, and he plays 2 brothers that are kind of forced to live together. And a lot of really good long shots of him talking to himself, and it is very believable, which is nice. House is Ethan's film. I'm blanking on his last name, but he made this film that's shot all on iPhone, and it's lit only by a candle, and it's this strange horror film where like he somehow managed to turn his house into a labyrinth. It just feels like never-ending staircases and hallways, and it's really, really well done. For how bare bones it is, it's amazing. And lastly, October, they made a Halloween movie, and I think they made it all in the month of October. They got it shot and released in October, which is absolutely amazing. And it's a really fun movie. It feels like something you'd see on Disney Channel, but it also has this independent edge, you know. They're always really good at playing with aspect ratio and stuff. So like it'll like go from 4:3 to widescreen, or like it'll get crop bars and go letterbox format. And it always feels purposeful. It never feels distracting. And I think they're kind of becoming masters of that. And they might have just released a video on that. I haven't watched it yet, about using aspect ratios. And lastly, Dheu. I think it's pronounced Dheu or something. I don't want to butcher it, but Talat Ahmed sent it to me. It's this movie he made, and he said like, hey Joel, I was kind of bummed on this movie, but then I saw your movie and it encouraged me to just get mine out there. And it's actually like really beautiful. I really enjoyed it. It's about a brother in this family dies, and it's kind of his family grieving, and it's about kind of like the societal pressures in the country. I don't want to say the wrong country. I think it's India. I think he made it in India, but I might be wrong. But it's about these pressures where like they like burying bodies or something, and he wants to be cremated, and that's like controversial, and it's really kind of so simply but beautifully shot. And I told him, if you could look past this, it just way over reliant on music. It's just full of like too much like music, and I told him that. I'm like, dude, get rid of the music, because it could be so beautiful to just let it be quiet. And he's like, yeah, I did use it because I was like self-conscious. And so if you look past the music, that's a really beautiful film. And testing, here we go. And now on to just random movies. And so one thing I did enjoy in COVID, and that was I had a lot of time to watch movies. I was just stuck at home. There was a good 2-month stretch where I didn't see a soul. And you know, during that 2 months, I watched a movie every night, and it was so fun. And you know, it's kind of, I'm so busy nowadays, I can't do it. So I kind of miss watching so many movies. But this is just I watched a lot, but this is just kind of a random assortment. And if you want to hear more rambles about movies, on my Patreon page, I do a monthly ramble, which sometimes are just about my life, but other times they're about movie recommendations or filmmaking, and just something to thank all the supporters on the Patreon. But Couple movies I really liked. Most recently, I watched Kung Fu Hustle, and that was on Netflix, and it's just, that movie's batshit insane. It's like I have such a love for like early 2000s CGI experimentation, and I realized this year that is almost a golden age of like special effects, because nowadays CGI can do anything, and everyone just makes it look realistic. You know, Marvel movies, they don't try to do anything with the CGI. It's just like blend it in with reality, make it unnoticeable, and it's just bland. But like early 2000s, when it was just like so not there yet, it couldn't be realistic yet, the people who recognized that and took it to an extreme stylized version, like those are the best. Like, you know, like Spy Kids, and like Kung Fu Hustle is, I've said, it's like the adult Kung Fu Spy Kids. It's just, every shot is full of the most ambitious, ridiculous CGI ever, and somehow it works because it's just so over the top. I had so much fun watching that. And next on a similar wave is the Spider-Man trilogy, Sam Raimi. You know, he doesn't need a shout out, everyone has seen these movies, but I did revisit them, and I love them. And my controversial opinion that I've now repeated like in various interviews and everything, this will probably get me like get me, ruin all my respect, but I think the third one is the best, and that is blasphemy to most people. But I just think the third one took that CGI experimentation even further, and it has more complex themes. And yes, it's the most messy and like gross and weird, and like this scene doesn't work, but this one does. But like when I watched the first two, they're just fun. Like that's it. And the third one like beat the shit out of my heart. It was like the third Spider-Man just has so much to say about like cyclical ruination of love. And it's weird for a Hollywood movie to be that insane, especially a superhero movie, to have such insane themes. But oh, there's a plane flying. I'm supposed to be out of here at 4:30. I don't know what time it is, but so Spider-Man, rewatched the third. Also rewatched Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, because I watched the whole trilogy, and then I watched that one that people denounce, and I thought it was just as good, probably better than The Last Crusade. I don't know why people hate it. They just latch on to like these stupid little things like, he can't survive an atomic bomb. It's like, did you see Temple of Doom? That movie is so stupid, and that movie's amazing. It's just action after action after action. And it's like, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull felt very true to Indiana Jones with that CGI transition, and it worked. It was goofy and fun. A big shift coming up. This is Iranian meta cinema, and my two filmmakers I explored a lot in that kind of subgenre is Jafar Panahi and Abbas Kiarostami. They're like the two big ones I'd like to see more. But Panahi has so many great movies, and I had a whole ramble about this on Patreon, but there are these films that are almost obsessed with recognizing their own artifice. And when I found them, I felt like I found like home, because my features, like especially like Pretend That You Love Me or Island or I'm Going to Be Famous, they're these films that are obsessed with acknowledging the filmmaking. And then I found this whole subgenre of films that has been doing that for years, and they're all just so great, like some of the best filmmaking you'll see. So Panahi's White Balloon is a good one, Taxi, and The Mirror is my favorite of his. You gotta watch The Mirror, go in blind, it's just amazing. And Kiarostami, Close Up is one of my favorite movies of all time. I watched it years ago in a theater, and I saw it again this year with my friend Trent, who's in all the videos. We watched it together, and I cried like a baby. Like, that ending is the most revelatory filmmaking. Like, I didn't realize how much that ending influenced me 3 years ago, and now seeing it again, I'm like, shit, that really stuck with me, and I cried like a baby. And I'm such a sucker for movies that make me cry. You know, any movie that makes me cry, I instantly love it more. I don't know why, I just love it. But Close Up is my favorite, but the Coker trilogy is also amazing. It's this trilogy of films where each film involves the creation of the previous film. So the first film's kind of a straightforward narrative, but then the second film is about the filmmaker making the first film, and the third film is about the making of that film. So then you have two people playing the filmmaker, Kiarostami, on camera while he's behind camera. It's so meta, it's crazy, and each one I like better than the last. It's Where Is My Friend's House, Life and Nothing More, and Through the Olive Trees. All of those are great. And a great place to watch this stuff is Criterion Channel. It's the best streaming service. They have so much good old foreign films, like new independent films. Their new section is okay, but it's mostly like the old foreign stuff, and not that old, but like 2000s and back. Just great movies across the board, and that's where I watched just about all these. And I also watched all of Juzo Itami's movie, who also all of his movie, who also is all on the Criterion Channel, and I also did a big long ramble about him on my YouTube, on my Patreon. And he's just this Japanese filmmaker that made a bunch of movies with his wife, and they're all over the top and ridiculous and funny. And his movie Tampopo is his most famous, but Supermarket Woman, Woman in Witness Protection, Gentle Art of Japanese Extortion. I mean, he has like 10, and I watched them all, and they're just all great. But check him out. Tampopo, you can't go wrong. That's a great starting point. But I love Supermarket Woman. So, nextly, Adam Sandler. A big shift again, but Adam Sandler is somebody I've recently fallen in love with. And it's not even really because of like Uncut Gems or Punch Drunk Love. It's not because of his serious performances. I actually love him more kind of just doing whatever he wants. And you know, one thing I love to see in general is people within the Hollywood system who have kind of gamed it, and they just get blank checks to do whatever they want. And you know, I spent like 10 years thinking he sucked. I hated Adam Sandler. And that now looking at him objectively, I'm like, if you could do that, you might do it too, you know? If you could watch his, you know, if you could make a fucking like movie where you travel the world with your friends and Netflix would pay for it, why wouldn't you? So with that new appreciation, and it's not that his movies are all cash grabs either. Like everyone I've watched, it feels genuine. It feels like something he would laugh at. And I think that sincerity combined with kind of the absurdity of him just doing so well, making these stupid things, is kind of a hilarious combo and a nice comfort food movie. One of the only movies, big releases this year that I kind of noted here was I'm Thinking of Ending Things, and this is Charlie Kaufman. I'm a huge Synecdoche, New York fan. I've seen that way too many times. And this one doesn't live up. I don't think it's as good, but it was so refreshing to see a movie released on Netflix that wasn't pure entertainment. Like this movie is like grueling and depressing and like so drawn out and like washed out. It's hard to see at times. And I'm just like, you know what? Good on Netflix for like releasing something that just feels borderline experimental. And I think that was so refreshing for me to see that amidst the sea of so much shit, it's like some things can still squeak out that are good. Like I did like Uncut Gems. That felt like something that squeaked through the shitty corporations system and still felt like a piece by an artist. So that's what I like. Die Hard with a Vengeance, the best action movie ever made. I watched it twice this year, and the second time I liked it even more. The ending sucks ass, it shits the bed, and it's just this horrible ending that just tries to tie everything up too quick. But the 2 hours to get there are just some of the best escalation in action you'll ever see. Like the villain's plan is always one step ahead of the characters and you. And the characters are always logical, you know, there's no scenes where you're like, God, what are they doing? They're wasting their time. Because it always makes sense where they're going, and it's just this mad dash through New York City, and it's so good. honestly better than Die Hard 1. Of course, better than Die Hard 2. It's just amazing. I don't know why it's so good. I loved it. In another shift, Tsai Ming-Liang. I hope I'm saying that right. He's is he Taiwanese? I want to say Taiwanese. Filmmaker. And I found him and fell in love through this movie called I Don't Want to Sleep Alone. And I think his movies are kind of hard to find in America, but that was on the Criterion channel. And that movie, God, it tore me to shreds. It just eviscerated my heart. His stuff is insanely slow, like glacier pace. Like if you think I'm thinking of ending things takes its time, like Tsai Ming-Liang, he has this movie called Stray Dogs, and there's just a shot that holds on two characters doing nothing for like 20 minutes. And that's the kind of filmmaker he is. He just doesn't care. And his worlds feel so real and inhabited, and sometimes your mind wanders just because it's so slow, but that's okay. And I might get kicked out here. This might be the park ranger. Let's see. I got one more movie. I'll finish it. The Fisher King, Terry Gilliam. I probably mentioned it last year. Makes me cry every time. I watched it like 3 times this year. Robin Williams gives his best performance ever. Breaks my heart. And yeah, that's all the movies. I think I'm about to be rushed out unless this guy's just driving by. We'll see. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. Nope, he's just driving by, so I'm not in a huge rush. But I hope you like kind of a calmer video like this. It's just, I wanted to talk to you guys candidly, no bullshit, no like fancy editing. I just wanted to be straight up with you guys and say thank you so much. This is so exciting. Thank you to my Patreon supporters. It means the world when people support you for doing what you love. Like that's the dream, and it's happening, and that's crazy. And thank you so much to those people. And I don't know what else to even say. Many more great freaking videos to come, and excited to have you guys along for the ride. Love you guys. Have a nice day. Oh, my butt. My absolute butt. The butt of this butt is butt right now. And that's a wrap, baby-o.